Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please be seated. Please be seated. I'm so happy to be here. And this is the best place to be today. I want to thank Dr. Richard, Dr. Casey Richard and his team at Swift Church for this wonderful event. I was here last year and I'm coming here again. And each time I come to Enugu is my second home. I left this beautiful city 20 years ago and I keep on coming and sharing value. Before I proceed, I want to appreciate, I want to recognize my beautiful wife who came here with me. You know, it takes a whole lot of job to manage this man standing here, and he's the one that manages me. You know, I came in from Abuja this week, where I went to train the sales team of a leading real estate group. We spent 3 days. I'm here today sharing value on cracking the sales code. So we're going to spend a beautiful time. Tomorrow, I'm also going to speak in our annual masterclass, talking to salespeople. Then on Sunday, I'm also going to speak again, talking to emerging leaders. Then after all this, on 5th of September, we'll be in Lagos to host our annual sales conference. So for me, sales is not just a job. For me, sales is a calling. You know, God said, go ye into the world and preach the good news. For me, talking about sales is the good news. And that is what I've come to share with you today. The good news of sales. By way of starting, we're going to, you know, when I received the topic, cracking the sales code. Cracking the sales code. I said, where are we going to start? I have a lot of stuff to talk about if it's sales. And God, one morning I woke up and God took me to one of my books, The 25 Unbreakable Laws of Sales. I wrote that book in 3 years. It took me 3 years. That's the longest time I've written a book. I've written 10 books and over 3,000 articles. And I wrote that one in 3 years. And when they talk about codes, whether you're talking about penal code in the law setting or codes in the digital world or code in the sales, it's talking about laws. It's talking about fundamentals. It's talking about principles. So for you to succeed in life, in anything you do, is about understanding, demystifying the fundamentals or the codes that will make you to succeed in that endeavor. So God led me to that and said, you've done this code stuff now. You've written 25 unbreakable laws of sales. So why don't you talk about some of them and share value in them? And the value we're going to share, wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever environment you're coming from, is going to work for you once you apply them. Because I call them the irrefutable laws of sales. And God gave it to me. Just like the scroll coming from heaven, and I received it. He said, my son, you've done a lot in this industry. Take the codes. And I received them. They are very original, and I'm going to share them with you. I call them, so we're going to share about 10 of them. About 10 of them that we're going to share. By way of introduction, I say people who know how to score goals will always retain their jersey. I'm happy that Dr. Kelechi is an Arsenal fan. You know, unrepentant Arsenal fan. And we are inviting you people to join us in Arsenal because we know how to score goals. I think it was on May 16 that Arsenal was crowned the champions of England. May 19. Then 30th May, if I'm correct, they narrowly missed the Champions League. It was just penalties. Oh, we narrowly missed. They missed it. Now, Community Shield Cup, just yesterday, we took it. We collected it. Are you happy with us? Just like Arsenal is the one who knows how to score goals. You know, in sales, we don't tell stories. In sales, we'll talk about sales targets, meeting or exceeding your targets. So if you know how to meet your target, if you know how to exceed your target, you will always keep your job. That is what we talk about in sales. Successful professionals and the entrepreneurs expand their knowledge reservoir. In my book, I talk about the law of assimilation. That's the irrefutable principles of success. The more you assimilate knowledge, the more you can do. The more you expand your knowledge reservoir, the more you can do. And that is what we've come to do here. The codes. And I say that the codes work everywhere you are in the world. Now, according to Harvard, knowledge and competence in sales is a leading attribute to success. That's Harvard Business School. Because you need how to sell as a business person. You need how to sell in your home. You know, I have two boys. Sometimes they will have their private meetings if they want to get something. They will have their private meetings, and the younger one will come and say, we'll start the presentation, and they will come to me. And they say, if the younger one is not presenting this well, the older one will say, bros, you're not doing this well. Let's present it this way. So we sell every day. We sell every day. Children sell to their parents. Husbands sell to their wives. Wives sell to their husbands. Organizations sell to organizations, what we call B2B. Governments sell to governments. Our crude oil, we sell to the world. So everybody is selling something. Everybody is selling something. You are a salesman. Gone are the days when they say, if you're not doing well, they say, push them to sales department. Now we pick the best in the industry, the best in the company to sell, because selling is the lifeblood of business. If you don't sell, the business will go into coma. And if nothing is done, the business will die, period. So we are going to learn the codes. So we sell our visions. We sell our missions. We sell our goals. We sell our perspectives. We sell our products. We sell our services. Everybody's selling something. Tell someone, I am a salesman. I am a salesman. I am selling the best product. I am going to succeed. Now, before you sell, my mentor Brian Tracy taught us in a class like this, that told us a story when he was starting up. He did a lot of stuff. Washed cars, sold in a restaurant, And they have a slogan in their restaurant. And that slogan is, what is in your plate? What is in your plate? So before you go to sell, before you go to serve your customer, you look at what is in your plate. You have the beautiful, the delicious dish. Now your manager will say, what are you serving? Are you serving delicious dish? Are you serving what will make the customer to come again? Are you serving beautiful smile? What are you serving? What are you telling them? What are you serving? Will it make them to come again? What is in your plate? That is where sales begins. You need to conquer yourself from within before you conquer the world. Because sales is like a war. It's like a battlefield. We talk about territories in sales. It says sales territory. So it's the general that goes to conquer. That is what the salesman is. So what is in your plate? You need to understand. You need to be sure that what is in your plate is the right thing that will make you to sell well. So when you are going to sell, ensure that you conquered the man within. Ensure that you have the best personality that will help you to be accepted there. Now we'll look at, just for us to build the right foundation to begin. So let's look at what sales is, what selling is, and what selling is not. What selling is and what it is not. Now what selling is, I say selling is transfer of feeling and emotion. So the way I feel about my product, the way I feel about my services, the way I feel about myself, if I can transfer that way to you, I've sold to you. Transfer of feeling and emotion. Selling is transfer of value. Now, anytime someone is buying, he is considering value. The value he is giving and the value he is receiving. So anytime you're selling, there is perception, there is value delivery. So anytime, and there is cost element. So he's measuring the perception he had, or the perception he has about your organization, about your product. Then if your delivery meets that perception, the person will be delighted. The person will be happy. If it doesn't meet it, the person will be disappointed. So if he misses it, the person has gotten value. If he didn't meet it, you've not delivered value. So selling is transfer of value. Now selling is providing solution to a need. So you're not just selling products or services, you are selling solutions. So anytime you are selling, there's what I call, we're in the training and consulting space. And before we train for you, we do what we call needs analysis. I don't do generic proposal. So if I do that needs analysis, I will discover your pain point. The way our faces look different is the way our pain points look different. That is why if someone has stomach issues, you will not prescribe the one for headache because you've identified the needs. So it will help you, when you identify the need, it will help you to profile solution. Do you have salespeople here who are in core sales in the field? Awesome. Beautiful. So selling is mutual deal. Selling is mutual deal. It's relational. So it's a win-win thing. I teach negotiation. So everybody wins. The salesman wins. The buyer wins. The company wins. Everybody wins. Selling is the exchange of products or services at a price. That one we know. So because we are not Father Christmas, And we're not running an organization of charity, so we need to collect money when we sell. So what selling is not desperation. Tell someone, selling is not desperation. You know, you can't be desperate to sell. People don't buy from desperate people. People buy from happy people who come to share value. If you are desperate to sell, people will avoid you. Don't be desperate to sell. Selling is making people to understand what they truly want, understand that you have the solution to what they want, and you understand that your solution will provide the needed advantage for them. When you know you are selling is when people begin to think that if they don't buy, they are losing because they didn't take the decision to buy from you. That is when you are selling. So you can't achieve this when you are desperate. Selling is not a one-off game. If you do one-off, if you sell today and you don't sell tomorrow, you've not sold. So you sell today, you sell tomorrow, you even get to the level of what we call referral. They begin to say, I bought from him, buy from him too, they are good. That is when you know you are selling. Selling is not taking advantage of the buyer. So if you take advantage of the buyer, people will buy only once and they will not buy again. That is not selling. Selling is not just closing a deal. You may not write an invoice, but you've sold. So if you secure an appointment, if you secure a good relationship, you've sold. Because if you don't sell today, you can sell tomorrow. It's one of the sales laws. Now, let's try to run. Let's get into the business. The first law I want us to explore is the con man, the first law of sales. The con man and the salesman are the same except for integrity. Can you say it with me? 1, 2, let's go. The con man and the salesman are the same except for integrity. Integrity is a product. Integrity is a product. Zig Ziglar said, it's true that integrity alone will not make you a leader, but without integrity, you can't be one. Warren Buffett said the same thing. Look out for 3 things in people: intelligence, excellence, integrity. If they have the first 2, if they don't have integrity, don't even try doing business with them. Someone you invited here last year is very close to me. He was an MD of a multinational then. He told me a story that when he was an MD, he told me this story many years ago. There was this particular salesman who was doing so well in figures, bringing figures, but he wasn't doing so well in integrity. Do you know what the company did? They sat and they said, okay, since you are giving us figures, we are not going to fire you. But the price you will pay is you remain where you are. No promotion. Integrity. Of all the reasons people will not buy from you, say no money, no need, no want, no time, no trust. The worst reason that will make them never to buy is no trust. Integrity. So anytime you are selling, ensure that your good morning is good morning. Because integrity is the first product they buy. You know, when they talk about con men are also selling. The salesman and the con man are the same except for integrity. So the con man is also selling. In fact, today's world, we have AI now. You can't even differentiate the one which is which. So if you remove integrity from the salesman, it's no longer a salesman. Maybe it's the other man. Hello? Now the second law, we say, the more you learn, the more you improve. The more you learn, the more you improve. Today's world is so competitive. Competition is so tough, it's so stiff. Organizations want to take out the other. The only thing that will differentiate you is what you know. You know, we'll talk about strategies in sales. Strategies, models is a function, they are function of what you know. In legal Martin, the Nemo don't quote habit. You cannot give what you don't know. So if you want to do more as a salesperson, you need to seek knowledge. When I started our brand some years ago, I went to a training. I paid $1,000 for that training. I went to the Institute of Marketing. I did executive marketing program. I went to National Brokers Academy. I did a program there for 9 weeks. Every day I was going. I went to Center for Management Development. I did a training for 10 days. I sat one to certify as a training consultant. I did another 10 days in advanced setting. That is 20 days every day. And I was already running. It wasn't necessary, like some people will say. John Maxwell said something. He said, if you want to lead, you must learn. If you want to continue to lead, you must continue to learn. Because the more you know, the more you expand your knowledge reservoir, and the more you conquer this our challenging world. So learning, you must continue to learn. I know that you've registered for the masterclass of this event that is holding tomorrow. All of us have registered. All of us should. And I heard that the case is 100K only. If I host that kind of event with those big speakers, I collaborate with a business school in Lagos. It's about first in Nigeria, in the country. If they host that kind of stuff, it won't be less than 2 million. That if it's my own company, it won't be less than 1 million. So can we celebrate Swift? Can we celebrate them? So they are giving. I'm so happy with what Swift is doing, Swift Church is doing, bringing some of these big events, the Southeast. Thank you, sir. You're doing awesomely well. So the third law in selling, attitude is everything. In selling, attitude is everything. My mentor Brian Tracy described attitude as someone driving a car that has a flat tire. For you to move the car, you must change the tire. Sales will wake up and will say, we'll have every, I support a lot of organizations. I consult for a lot of organizations, and the way they start the year is their strategy meetings, sales conference strategy meetings, and in strategy meetings they will review their sales targets. All right, most of the time 50% up, they'll jack it up by 100% depending. Now if you are a salesman with the wrong attitude, you say it's not possible. Maybe your turnover last year, your target last year was 100 billion, and the company comes to say we are increasing by 50%, which is 150 billion. So if you are a wrong salesman with the wrong attitude, you say It's not possible. There's this particular farmer, a leading pharmaceutical company I trained for. They jacked their sales target. And I was training their regional managers. And one of them said, he jacked it up. One of them said, it's not possible. And I asked him, have you gone to try? You've not gone to try. You've not set up your strategies. You've not tried anything. And you sit here and say, it's not possible. Sun Tzu said, great warriors sit at home and win the battle before going to the battlefield. Average warriors go to the battlefield and begin to think how to win. So where do you belong? You need to be the one that will sit at home and plot how you're going to win. In the Selling Champion, I talked about the art of selling is in the mind. You decide that this is my target and this is where I will win, I'll get my target. If I talk to salespeople, there is a language I'll be using. I have a model I call the 10-5-5 rule of the Selling Champion. And I tell you, every day, ensure if you are doing personal selling. My doctorate degree research is on personal selling. I've done a lot of research there. If you are doing personal selling, ensure that you reach at least 10 prospects every day in personal selling. 10 prospects. 10-5-5 rule. The first 10 prospects every day. Who is a prospect? They are buying your kind of product, but they are not buying from you. That's my simplest definition of prospect. The first five current customers you are selling to. You go to them and they say, but we bought last week. You say, no, I've come to know how you're doing. How is family, sir? I like seeing your face. I like seeing your business prosper. That is why I've come. That's the first 5. And before you leave, the man will say, come, do you have some products? The supply again, hello. Now the last 5 is 5 people that were buying before that stopped buying. So if you do this, you've covered the real circle. People that weren't buying before, people that are currently buying, you're keeping in touch, and people that stopped buying. Research has proved that you have 6 times chances that people that were buying before, you can convert them faster 6 times than to commence a new business. Try it. I call it the 10-5-5 rule. I propounded it in 2014 and it works. Now, the 4th law, some doors are walls, some walls are doors. It's the philosophical. Some doors are walls, some walls are doors. Can I move from here? It's a wall. But I'm saying that some of these, sometimes you can see a wall here. That's where I encourage people to prospect, because you don't know where the good news will come from. Sometimes you may the wall becomes a door. Some doors are walls. You know someone, the purchasing manager, purchasing director is your uncle. All right? The MD is your cousin. All right? Now you've written this, your proposal, beautiful proposal. And the day you submitted it, they say it will work. All right? You have all the hopes. Now, when you now come for the thing to work, a new company have acquired the company, and your MD, that is your uncle, is no longer there. Your cousin, that is your auntie, is no longer there. And you come there, they write another thing on the board. That is where some walls, some doors become a wall. That's where some doors become a wall. Now sometimes you don't know anybody. Some walls are doors. You don't know anybody. But what you know is that you know how to sell. You know how to position your product. You know how to knock at doors. You know how to move and tell people I have the best product. You know how to do presentation. You know how to close. And you're doing it without giving up. You don't know anybody. That wall can become a door because you don't know anybody. When I was paid my first 1 million as a speaker, that is in 13 years ago, I didn't know anybody. If you know Lagos well, there's Badagry, there's a place they call Whispering Palms. So I was there to train for Samsung for 4 days. Now, regional managers. Now, I went there. After training them, the person that organized that told me that he's organizing a conference, sales conference. And he paid me what, wasn't like, Now I went there because selling is passion for me. Now I talked to about 2,000 professionals, sales professionals. Now I didn't know that in that audience, there was this commercial manager, commercial director, who later became the MD. It's a brand you all of us know, but I won't mention the name. In that conference, now the person was there, and they were preparing their annual national conference, and they were looking for a credible speaker who will come. I didn't know anybody, but I was doing my stuff. Now after that, they met my PA and said, I want to have a conversation, and we thought it was that, I hadn't earned 1 million as a speaker that time, and they reached me and said, our budget is 1 million for this job. I don't know if you will take it. I said, let me look at my calendar and let me see if it will work. Let me look at my calendar. And I call my wife and say, be like say 1M go happen. And that was it. Some walls are doors. If you're selling, sell to yourself first. Be happy with your product. Be happy with yourself. Be happy with your services. And you go out there and be knocking. Oh, I am the salesman from this place. I have the best product and services. It's going to profile solution to you. Let us start business now. Some we close, say no. Some we say, okay, let's try it. Some we say tomorrow come back. Then we say this, so what? Hit at the next door. After all, our Bible says, knock, knock, knock. It will open. Seek, 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 and you shall find. That is salesman for you. That's the fourth law. Now the fifth law, we say, the salesman is the actor, the buyer is the spectator. Have you watched a blockbuster before? For some of us those days, you watch Nigerian Nollywood movie, you see a Peter Dochie, you see a Kanayo, you see a Genevieve, you see Olu Jacob, you see Jimmy Ike, you see Emeka Ike. In one movie, you say, wow, you just go and get the movie, you don't want to know, since these people are there, it's good. Now begin to imagine you are a salesman, and I said you are an actor. In your product presentation, what you are doing is demonstration. You are demonstrating your value. You're demonstrating your solution. You're demonstrating what you are coming, the value you are coming to profile, to give. You are an actor. If you act well, they will buy. You are acting into their mood, inside their mood. You are discovering them. You are discovering their emotion. You are discovering their logic. You are discovering their pain point. If you act yourself, if you put yourself in their shoe, if you are empathic, they will buy. And that is why it is important to do what I call sales intelligence. Sales intelligence is like the military intelligence, where you use, information gathering, to know who you are selling to. So the more you know the person you are selling to, the more you know how to sell to him. So in sales, the salesman is the actor, the buyer is the spectator. Now the sixth law, the fifth law, sixth law. Prospect buy you before the product. Prospect buy you before the product. Now, anytime you are selling two things. You are selling yourself and you're selling the one you have in your hand. And the question is, which one are they going to buy first? They will buy you first. Prospect buy you before the product. You are a product. There's a company that you know, an FMCG company into cosmetics, food, and so on. I got a link. You know, sometimes we do collaboration in what we do. You know, you don't today's world is you don't collaborate, you don't compete with your you know, sometimes you collaborate with experts to get a result. So the HR company got the job, all right? And they went for presentation. You know, selling, if you're a call salesman who want to listen to someone who is a HR person coming to train him or her. Sales is like one kind of enclosed stuff. So before he will listen to you, he will make sure that you're a salesperson. Now, they brought us, no, they went for the meeting with the company. The national sales manager of the company came from a very popular multinational. Now, the HR, two HR guys, you know, a lady and a male, went for the meeting. And when the national sales manager profiled them, they said, they found out that they were HR people. They said, no, we can't do, we want core sales training consultant. And the one that knew me said, wait, can we schedule this meeting on Wednesday? I have someone I want to get. He said, okay, Wednesday last. We were discussing prospect buy you before the product. Now they told me that the lady came to me and told me the scenario. They said they would schedule the meeting on Wednesday. We met on Monday. I said, okay, let's go. I went there. One of the things I do is to get you what I have done. So I went with my books, went with my brochures, convener of Nigerian Sales Conference, the biggest sales conference in the country. I'll tell you what I do. Now, when we were having that meeting, prospect buy you before your product. Prospect buy you before the product. Now the HR, the head of HR, is a lawyer and the company secretary of that team, that company. But some of my, you know, you went for a business meeting and they're already buying. I don't know if you understand me. You went to a business meeting to close. Now the people gave them a figure, the former HR people, the HR people that got the job, gave them a figure, all right? And I went there and tripled the figure. They told me it's not that. I said, no, you brought the selling champion. Allow me to negotiate. Just watch. Just watch what I will do. Now, I brought the books, and the HR person bought all the books for the company. That's number one. We went to, I gave them 3, you know, multiply the figures, you know, by 3. Now he said that the GMD was traveling to London that day. Now that she said that she gave the GMD a copy of Everything is Possible. That was the book. That the GMD later told me that he read the book for 6 hours to London and finished it in the airplane. Now he gave it to his son, who is in London, to read the book. Now the GMD came back and called them and said, if that man who wrote that book is the person you are discussing to train my people, call him. I want to see him. I want to work with him. Selling yourself even before the product. Now, this happened 7 years ago, and that company, I still spoke with the GMD 2 days ago for you to know that he began a relationship, and we kept training for them. So don't be in a hurry to sell, be in a hurry to commence a beneficial mutual relationship. Discover your company, your client, discover the buyer, discover the person you're selling to. Now the seventh law, I said that selling is like the art of fishing. You need the line, you need the hook, and you need the bait. I call it the fishing metaphor of selling. You know, I told you that this thing came from somewhere. This is not something you see in a regular. It came. Selling is like the art of fishing. You need the line, you need the hook, and you need the bait. And this is where I compare the salesman as the fisherman. You know, in fishing, the fisherman is looking for fish. In selling, the salesman is looking for customers. And I said that the line represents the salesman's selling skills. The hook represents the salesman's strategies. And the bait represent the benefit in the product. Let me explain. You know, in selling, you need to understand the sales process. Selling, professional selling has a process. You say identify the market. Ensure you are talking to the right prospect in the right market. Do you understand me? Now you need to, that is the, you need the line. The line represents the selling skills. The hook represents the strategies. Now, what is your selling strategy? There has to be a strategy you will adopt in your selling techniques that will make them to come and keep coming. So you need the skills, you need the strategies, then you need the what? You need what? The benefit. Now, what is the benefit? You know, when you cast, when you see the line for the fisherman, it will stay. That long one is what? The long one is the selling skills. It's doing like this. So that's why you're doing. You have the skills. Okay. Now there is what? You know, the worm is affixed to the hook. And I said that worm is the benefit, the bait that the fish will go and look for, and the hook will catch the fish. What will catch, or what will attract, or what will win, or what will make the customer to go with you is the benefit, the solution that you attached in your fishing metaphor, in your selling strategy. That is what will make them to come. So in selling, I call it the fishing metaphor of selling. You need the line, your selling strategy, you need the hook, you need the line, your selling skills, you need the hook, your selling strategy, you need the bait, the solution, the attraction, or the benefit in the product. And I said in fishing metaphor, all the three must be in place. Not 2/3, not 1/3. You need the skills, it must be in place. You need the strategies, it must be in place. And you need what will attract people to the product. That is the fishing metaphor of selling. Now the 8th law, if you want to succeed, do what successful people do. That's the 8th law of sales. If you want to succeed, do what successful people do. You know, in Nigerian setting, we say follow who know roads. But you need to understand that the person knows you well. Make you not carry you go somewhere and you don't know. Follow who know road. That is why I recommend, if a salesperson, who is your mentor? Who is your mentor? When I discovered Brian Tracy many years ago, he's done a lot of stuff for me. He's given me a lot of value. Follow who know road. There was a time I had people very close to me told me that, some 20 years ago, to relocate to the US, that's what I do, that if I go to US, that I will chase everybody away and I will be at the front. People know now, people at the front, I will say, oh, come, the selling champion is here. I will not be at the front. Does it work that way? It doesn't work that way. Said, come on, you are what you've done, you do this, you have good. I said, follow who no road. I reached Brian Tracy. I said, Oga, my people say I should. By that time, Japa has not started. We don't know what is Japa. I said, my people said I should Japa. And Brian Tracy listened to me, and he asked me some questions, and I answered. He told me, he replied me, I said, George, grow your business in Nigeria. George, grow your business in Nigeria. And that is what we've done. So what you are going to do is the brand you are promoting, what you are selling, who are you benchmarking? Who are you listening to? Who is your role model? Who is your coach? Who is your mentor? Some people have been there before you. Who are you listening to? I have a lot of people in my circle. Who is in your circle even? If you're following Who No Road, who is in your circle? Professor David McClelland of Harvard Business School. He talked about your influence group. And he said that 90% of what you will become is a function of the people around you. Over 90%. Charlie Jones supported it. He said, you will be the same person you are 5 years from now, except for two things: the books you read and the people you hang around with. Follow Who No Road. Who are you following? Who are you listening to? And someone said, if you hang around 6 intelligent people, you will be what? What is the opposite of intelligent? If you hang around 6, I didn't say anything. It's you that said it. Follow Who No Road. You're selling. I have mentors in the sales profession. Samuel Wabunwa was here last year. When I have some sales issues, there are people that will listen to me. Sam Ohabunwa Mazi, one of my mentors I respect a lot. He wrote forward for my first book, The Selling Champion. He's the first salesman I know that walked into a pharma group as a medical sales rep and left that same company as managing director and later led the acquisition of the company. Follow Who No Road. Who are you following? Hello? Who are you following? The eagle will never flock with turkeys. If you talk about eagle, if you go to Pentagon, their logo is eagle. If you come to Nigeria, we have an eagle, but I don't know if that eagle is. Follow Who No Road. Because if you want to remain an eagle, you must flock with eagles. If you talk about eagles, you talk about coat of arms, logos of nation, military logo, very strong bird. You will never see eagle on a dinner table. Hello? But you see chicken on the dinner table. So you need to choose where you want to belong. Follow Who No Road. So as we're talking now, begin to look at your phone, your contact, people that are in your group, people that are in your network, where you want to be in the next, short term, 1 year, months to 1 year, mid-term, 2 to 5 years, long term, 5 to 10 years. Who do you want to listen to as a sales professional, as a professional as a business person? Who are you listening? Who are you benchmarking? Benchmarking is not a crime. You can benchmark and make better. So follow who know road. It's very important. What law are we now? 9. Number 9. And number 9 says, if you sold without objection, you probably sold to your uncle. Say it with me. If you sold without objection, you probably sold with... Do you know what is objection? You know sales objection? Sales objection is not necessarily, somebody said atorum. It's not necessarily atorum. There's atorum is sales rejection. There's even sales rejection. Do you know what the one that says rejection? That sales rejection is there is no hope. You know, the man who said, I was sleeping in the night and I saw your face in my dream and you were coming to sell to me. And they said, if I buy from you, my business will not move again. That is the atorum thing. That is sales rejection. But even at that, no issues. Keep moving. No issues at all. Smile is not personal. It's not an issue. Now, sales objection is when you are cruising, when you are moving, when you are cruising, when you are moving, you've done a beautiful presentation, you've given them a deal that you think it was a beautiful deal, you've done all you can, and they will say, our boss traveled. And they will say, sorry, we have another supplier. And they will say, sorry, your price is high. And they will say, we've closed buying this year, we'll start buying next quarter. That is objection. You know, objection can be real, it can be imaginary. You know, whatever it is, discover the objection you are handling. Talk about value. Don't feel bad about it. Objection is the period that will make you to bring out the best in you as a salesman. When I sold to Brian Tracy in 2012, I've done 15 and a half years as a professional. I wanted to launch my business. And I told myself that I'm going to have a product, not just services, training and consulting services. Product, I want something that after training, I'll give you something. So you continue, it's like a business school. And I was writing, the selling champion, my first book, Mazi, that wrote forward for that book, Mazi Samuel said that it's a well-cooked book. You know, when you cook the book, recipe, women understand what it means. Now I went to Brian Tracy. I told Brian Tracy, when it was still manuscript, I told Brian Tracy that I want you, objection, that's what we're handling. I want you to write forward for me. Write forward for me. And Brian Tracy replied me and said, George, I write forward for people I know personally. Uibo man. I write forward for people I know personally. I say, yes, this is the time to sell. It's an objection. Isn't it? It's an objection. I say, sir, I know that you've not met me, but I know you, sir. I know you. I know that you're going to speak next week in New York. You're going to speak to an audience of 5,000 people. I mentioned the consultant he was speaking with. I know you. Sir, even in my country, I've read 30 of your books. Even when I've not read 5 of the ones from my country. Sir, I know you. Brian Tracy, you are my mentor, sir. The next message I received, he said, send me your introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and conclusion. I sent it. I sent to him. Then I was in a state. I've done 5 years, transition state. I don't know if some of us are in that state. I was a national sales manager. I wanted to launch my own business. A lot of stuff coming in. I was writing a book. I was a lot of stuff, setting a company. And now, so I sleep for 3-4 hours a day. So every 1, 2 a.m. I'm awake, my laptop. Now I checked my mail and I saw it. It said, this is a book written by a top sales professional that will make you sell easier, faster than ever before. Brian Tracy. I told my wife, you don't pay. Objection. You must be ready to handle objection, because objection will come. One of the greatest reasons why people fail in sales is because of sales objection. Objection number 1. 2, follow up. They don't follow up. You start off sales conversation, you are supposed to follow up along the line, they'll stop following up. So take objection as part of the game. Don't be afraid of sales objection. It's going to come. When it comes, take it, handle it. It's a process, a whole lot of presentation on objection. Now the 10th law. The 10th law, and I want you to read it with me. 1, 2, let's go. Again. So the salesman is the one who communicates value. The salesman discovers value in his products and services. He goes like a missionary to where those products are wanted. He goes there and begins to talk about the product, just the way I'm talking about the product of sales now. He's happy. Now, the more he communicates the good news and gets people to buy, you know, he's a salesman. He wants to meet his target. He wants to exceed his target. So once he gives that value to people, meets his target, he's happy. He's happy. Happy customer. When is a customer happy? A customer is happy when, you know, when you are selling, whether you are selling to someone who is going to resell or a final consumer, everybody, the business is to be happy. So you need to, the customer, his target is to be happy. That is his target. So when he buys from you, the salesman, and your product makes me happy, makes him happy, satisfy his needs, satisfy the issues that will solve his problem, he's happy. Because you've discovered what will proper solution to him, he's happy. So the customer is happy by meeting his own target. The buyer is happy by meeting his own target. Then the company that gathered everybody, provided the product, and they gathered everybody to, you know, it's a win-win game. When they sell, they make profit, so they can meet up, you know, with their goals, solving their problems. So when they sell, they are happy. So everybody is happy. So this law is saying that you that is a salesman, your duty is to be someone that go out there to make people happy. Your products should make people happy. Your customers should be happy. Your company should be happy. And before you are happy, you need to be happy from within, because you cannot give what you don't have. So you need to be happy. You need to conquer the man within. You know, when I talk to salespeople, I will tell them, love, you know, the 4 L's of sales, the selling champion 4 L's of sales, and 1 P. The first L is love yourself. Before you become a happy salesman, you need to love yourself first. Love yourself. Love yourself is, you know, sales is one of the most difficult jobs in the world, and it's the easiest job. It depends on the way you say it. So for you to sell, you need to be happy from within. Love yourself. Be happy, so that what comes from within is the best thing that will happen to anybody that meets you. Smile, be happy to the world. Be happy with your customer. Be happy with your product. So love yourself. Number 2 L is love your company. You cannot hate your company and still sell their product. That's what I teach, a model I called ownership mentality. There's entrepreneur that start with E and entrepreneur that start with I. So if you're working in a company that is not your own, you are an entrepreneur that start with I, that makes things happen. So love your company. So the first one is what? The second one is what? The third one, love your product. Love your product. You cannot sell what you don't love. If you wake me up anytime, I love my products. I love what I do. I'll tell you that I'm Nigeria's #1 sales authority. I'll tell you I don't have anything or any other thing to prove. If you want to know, just go and look at what I've done. Because I love myself. I love my product. I love my company. That is the salesman. Love your product. So let's read the first one is what? The second one is what? The third one is what? The next one is what? Love your customer. Love your customer. Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric, Brian Tracy told us a story that when he won the CEO of the century, media people called him and said, "Why did you win this best CEO of the century?" And he told them that during their sales meetings, during their management meetings, everybody will have their seat. So the marketing director will have his seat, the production director will have their seat, the HR director will have the seat, everybody will have the seat, and they will leave one empty seat. And that empty seat is for who? The customer. So whatever decision they are taking, they are looking at what the customer is saying. If they're saying that they are going to increase price, they look at the seat. Will the customer like it? If they're saying they are going to reduce the value, they are going to reduce the quality, they will look at the seat. Will the customer like it? Love your customer. So let your company, let your model, let everything you do be customer centric, as Philip Kotler will call it. Be customer centric. Everything centers around the customer. Now, what is the P? The P is, so be professional. So love yourself, love your company, love your product, love your customer, be professional. You know why you need to be professional? So that you will be professional in this love. So don't go and say that the selling champion say love your customer and they give you promotional material and the customer is a member of your Monna. You take all of them and give to him. Say take. You say love your customer. No, you have to be professional. You share it the way it's supposed to be. Alright? That is what it is. Love your customer and be professional. Be professional in doing all of them. Because when you are professional, you will know that this is the time to start, this is the time to stop. You know what to do at every given time. You know what to say at every given time. You know how you are going to the field. You know the model you are pursuing. You know the strategies you are pursuing. You know the way you will say things. You know what you are going to do at the right time. You do it at the right time. Do the right thing at the right time. Be professional. That's what will guide you in this code. Now, by way of conclusion, don't pray for easy sales, rather pray and work for the capacity to convert more customers, more prospects to customers. It's not going to be easy. It has never been easy. Not planning to be easy, but pray for the capacity to convert every prospect or more prospects to customers. You won't convert every, but you pray that you convert more. So you need to increase your lead in capacity. That's what we call ability. So if you have a lead of 8%, your performance will not be more than 7%. So your lead determines where you will get to in performance. So what you are doing now is part of expanding your lead. That is building capability. So if you build capability, you enhance your ability, you enhance your lead. So that's why I say I commend what you are doing here. So build more capacity, learn more in order to know more so that you can convert more prospects and they start buying from you. The good news is that every skill is learnable. That's what my mentor Brian Jesse told me. Every skill is learnable. I didn't start with sales. I didn't start with marketing. My first degree, who is a lion here? Lion and lionesses? Lion and lionesses. My first degree in here was accountancy. Accountancy. Imagine the selling champion. Buhari file account now, debiting people and crediting people. That's not my calling. But it was fun, it was good. It helped me to know discipline, figures, okay? Accountability. Right? So I began to learn when I worked in a group that does professional selling. And that was when I began to learn about selling, about marketing. Right? Now I went to develop myself. Right? Begin academically, I pushed for selling, for marketing. My MBA is in marketing, my MSc is in marketing, my doctorate is in marketing, my professional is in marketing. So in fact, my research interest is in sales. So I told sales, we'll die here. We'll die here. Because that's where we give value. And that's where we'll continue to give value. So now you know the codes. One of our musicians from here say, now you know. Now you know. Now you know what we are selling. What we are saying now is go and apply. You know the codes. Go and apply. I think I have some books there. The 25 Unbreakable Laws of Sales is there. This is just a scratch. And I have other books there. I've written 10. And I think I came with some copies. You can help yourself. I commend everyone that I've come here. I commend Dr. Casey and his team. You're doing so great. We're so happy. We are happy that this thing is happening in Enugu, the core city. This is where I was born. This is where I started. And I'm happy that this is happening here. And I say that it will continue to be big. It will continue to be better. Leadership and Economic Conference in Enugu, the southeast of Nigeria, the capital of the old eastern state, is providing value and sharing value. Casey, Swift, Church, and team, you are doing great. And thank you. This is my time, and God bless you.